This is Egypt's #1 for hit music, 104.2 Nile FM. Now, Nile FM's Aware with Adham.
Indeed it is, and it's the show that's all about giving back to the community. And with me, a prime example for that on tonight's show, two very special ladies from a very special project. It's the Solar Decathlon. Stay tuned.
Egypt's #1 for hit music, 104.2 Nile FM. Cairo, Nile FM's Aware.
And we're here. Hope you're having an absolutely phenomenal Saturday. Hope your weekend was great as well. Let's get straight to it. First of all, obviously, I'd like to welcome these very, very, very special ladies with me into the studio here on Nile FM's Aware. Nermeen, Afef, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Adham.
Ladies, I have to ask off the bat, because the name is quite confusing. I mean, you told me that the organization or the initiative that you're representing, which turns out to be a competition, which is something I want to address a little bit later, is called the Solar Decathlon. Now, the name is a little bit confusing. It sounds like an Olympic sport. Please explain, what exactly is the Solar Decathlon?
Solar Decathlon is a competition which promotes solar energy. That's basically it. So it's called Solar Decathlon because solar energy, deca is 10, and 10 is basically 10 different disciplines that we have to address in our competition.
Wow. And it is, at the end of the day, a competition.
Yes.
Well, that's something I want to get back to in a matter of seconds, but let me ask you first this. Why solar energy? Why not wind energy? Why are you focusing so much on solar energy?
Solar energy is basically what we have abundance of. Solar energy is the future. Solar energy is the energy source that we can use for the future because everything else is basically scarce.
Well, what's the problem with fuel? What's the problem with, coal? We all like those.
Well, at some point, you're not going to have any of that. So that's the whole point.
So basically, it's to combat the scarcity
Yes.
of these materials that you're depending on solar energy. What exactly is the competition that is called the Solar Decathlon? How does it work exactly?
So it's basically an international competition, and it's about promoting that solar energy, and it's about building a solar house. So each team is assigned to build a solar house.
Well, okay, I may sound a little bit naive and illiterate here, but what exactly is a solar house?
So a solar house is something that's like 100% being fed from the solar energy. So you take the energy of the sun, put it into your house, and generate electricity and water heating, ventilation, etc.
So you won't have fish? You won't have plugs in the wall?
You will, but it's basically using the solar energy. The electricity that is being generated is basically from solar energy.
Yes, I love the fact that she's talking to me yes, of course we're going to have lunch. Don't be so smart. I don't really know much about that. But this is a very, very cool idea. And I've heard, from my limited knowledge about the topic, that this kind of stuff is increasingly non-cost efficient, or it costs a lot of money. Is that the case, or is technology more advanced now?
Yes, that is true. If you want to implement this technology, it will take you lots of money. However, if you have to think about the running cost, the cost in the future, this will not be as much. It's just the initial cost. You have to invest at the beginning, but later on it won't be.
So basically it pays off for itself
Yes.
in the future.
On the long term.
What have you been up to? Have you been a part of the organization team, or were you actually competing? Has there any results been submitted? What's going on?
So the competition basically started a year ago, and you're competing against 13 other teams, international teams, and we're all a bunch of students, and we're all competing to build that solar house. So
Wait a second. So all the teams are actually students?
Exactly.
Not like, adults or scientists or nuclear physicists or
all university teams.
Wow, that's impressive. Please continue.
It's basically a student-led competition. That's the whole point. Basically, how it started out, we thought we wanted to join something that is environmentally friendly. We wanted to help the environment in a way or another. So this competition was basically about having a house that operates fully on solar energy, and how we can see how different disciplines act together in order to make this happen in a house, in a livable house.
Wow. And did you actually succeed in doing that? Is there a house now that is operating based on solar energy?
It is designed, not built yet. So we have the design. We're still finalizing the designs. We're still working on that because this process takes ages. In order to build this house, we have to have the complete set of drawings.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be redundant here, but just to make sure, you actually designed, it actually works. an entire house that works off of solar energy and is fully sustainable. Like it doesn't need any external sources of energy.
You could say that. That's the beauty of the competition, basically.
That is magnificently impressive. Like I am way impressed right now. Have there been precedences for something like this? You mentioned that you've been competing against several teams and it's an international competition as well. How are the dynamics going to go? Who are the judges? Have there ever been any Egyptian teams before? What's going on?
Basically, it's been happening since 2002, this competition. So yes, every year there has been competing teams from around the world, and they've been working on this competition yearly now. So you have lots of houses that already did designs for a solar house.
Wow.
So,
and I'm fairly certain the Chinese took it most of the time, didn't they?
actually, they were more like Germans or
French.
Yeah,
maybe.
French people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can understand the Germans. The French, I don't know about. But okay, fair enough. Well, in this context, you guys are the first, or have there been before you any Egyptian teams as well, or?
We're actually the first Egyptian team, the first Arab team, and the first African team.
Nice.
Yeah.
So basically, what you have the design ready, but I mean, can it be broken down? Do you have to start the whole thing? I mean, if I want to be involved, if I want to start doing my part for the environment, do I have to move from my current house and move into a solar house, or can I start bits and pieces?
Well, the way we see it is that the Egyptian market is basically not ready yet for a completely 100% solar powered house. So the way we want to do it is maybe use parts of the designs that we've done already as like a smart screen that we've designed or suggested, and then maybe apply them on windows, balconies, or whatever, things like that. Maybe.
Very cool. And those smaller chunks will actually
help the community.
Very, very, very cool. Very, very
That's
cool.
the aim.
Well, unfortunately, it is becoming that time of the day where we have to wrap things up on this episode of Nile FM's Aware. With me tonight were the very first pioneers, so to speak, or at least designers, I understand, of the very first Egyptian solar house, as well as in Africa and the Arab world as well. Nermeen, Afef, it was a pleasure having you here, but before I let you go, I need to ask, I mean, whether I'm an engineer or a physicist or somebody that wants to be involved in this competition, or whether I just want to be involved and up to date on the different technologies that I can use to do my part to help the environment, how do I get in touch with you guys?
Well, basically, you can get in touch with us through our website, which is www.slide-s.com, and that's the name of our project, Slide-S, or you can follow us on Twitter or Facebook.
Very cool. How do I follow? I mean, is there a particular hashtag or?
Yeah, there's a link on our website to Facebook and Twitter.
Very, very, very cool. Ladies, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you very much for taking the time. And seriously, a round of applause goes to you for your effort, your dedication to this, especially that you guys are still university students, which is just so amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Adham.
Thank you, Adam. Wish us luck.
Absolutely. My fingers crossed and all the support that I can possibly give. And if there's something that I can do, I hope I can help as well. And basically, that's it. That wraps things up for tonight's edition of Nile FM's Aware. And again, just as a friendly reminder, as I always say, if you are one of these individuals, whether a student, a business person, whatever, if you're working for an NGO, a social development initiative, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're doing something that gives back to the community, that is aimed to make Egypt a better place, I would love to have you on the show. Get in touch and send me an email, aware@nileradioproductions.net. That's again, aware, AWARE, @nileradioproductions.net. Send me an email, tell me a little bit about what you're doing or what your organization is doing, and I'd love to have you on the show. Again, thank you very much, ladies. That's it from us. We'll catch you next Saturday with yet another group of individuals trying to give back to the community right here on